voiceover with the speed of this video is challenging, but I'm going to attempt to try and keep up. My laptop doesn't like to keep up with showing me with what's happening, so I'm going to try, okay? I took a glue stick and I glued down my brows and my sideburns to protect them from the latex. Then I took latex and I threw the latex all over my face, avoiding my immediate eye area and my lips. I also had thrown down a primer on my face because I didn't want latex just thrown on. I wanted some kind of protective barrier. I put the latex all over my neck. I added some toilet paper on my ear because I was going to go for Freddy's ears, and then I decided not to do my ears, and I should have. I was lazy. So if you want a more complete look to your ears, do the under of your nose, the bottom of your nose or whatever, and take a little bit more time than I did. I should have done it. I spent about an hour and a half on this look. Anyways, I used a blow dryer to blow dry the latex so I could add more layers more quickly, but you don't have to. I took some tweezers and I carefully poked holes in the latex. So yes, do that, but do it very carefully because I accidentally grabbed my skin a couple of times, so just be careful while doing it, all right? I'm not responsible for your face, and it can be kind of intimidating. So, and then I added more latex on my forehead and other areas because I felt like it needed to be a little bit thicker and it wasn't thick enough. This is my first time doing this technique or, whatever for burns. These are my first burns I've ever created because, I don't know, it just is. So after poking enough holes in everything, I threw down some red in the burns, and I was using a bruise wheel from Mayron, and I'm just using a red shade in it. And then I decided to use alcohol activated paints and added it on the centers of the burns because I felt like it would be a thinner, more bloody, natural kind of consistency, but you can use shadows, you can use oil paints, you can use water activated paints, whatever, And I'm just poking more holes because I felt like there needed to be more holes or more burns, and I'm just adding that color in all of those burn holes. So yeah, if you hear noise and stuff, I'm sorry. I took a sponge that I poked holes in, or I didn't poke holes, I ripped up, and I used the sponge to add some water or alcohol activated paints on my face to add some texture and things like that because I really wanted my face to be highly textured. Because I felt like that's what Freddy's face looked like, and yeah, it's just what I thought. So I kept messing with the latex to try and make it more textury and wrinkly and things like that. But yeah, I really like taking that sponge and ripping it out and using it. And now I didn't cover up my brows, which I think I should have done. So I took my skin colored alcohol activated paint and put it all over my brows to try and cover them up. Now I'm painting the insides of the burns with a darker red on the outside to try and add some depth and make them stand out more. So yeah, that's what I am doing. I really don't think my voiceover is going with this. I'm so sorry. It's the best that I can do, but hey, I'm doing a voiceover like you guys asked. Oh my gosh. So I also took some green paint, yellow paint, and I put it on the center because when you look at a scab or whatever, when it's thick, it's kind of got that color to it, I think. Yeah, at least that's what I remember. And I felt like I needed things to stand out more. So I started taking a brush with a dark blue from the bruise wheel and lightly running it over all of my face. and letting it hit all of the high points that were showing. And that's what I kind of did. I just went between like reds and yellows and textures and really using the brush to run over those textured parts to make them look higher up on my face and define them more. And I use that texture brush or sponge with alcohol-based paints and just kind of ran it all over. And I used a lot of pink tones and things like that to, I don't know, make it look irritated and rashy and whatnot. And I also kept adding more holes in the latex as I felt like there needed to be more. So I also added all of that paint to my eyes, and then I decided to add latex there. And don't do that, okay? It's not safe. It's not safe for your eyes, but I did, all right? I did it. Don't do it. I'm not responsible for your eyeballs. I also used some translucent powder pressed to run over my face to help with like stickiness and things like that. And I did use a little bit of eyeshadow for my eyes as well. And then I just kept trying to add texture and run that brush all over the texture. Of course, I haven't done my eyes yet, but I promise I do. And I also add some coagulated blood in my scab wounds. I do that a little bit later on, but I just thought I would throw that out there right now. Yeah, I just kept trying to make depth and texture, and I feel like it's really important. And also, I'm not a professional, but I feel like burns and stuff kind of look wet, you know, because they're like seeping. And so I wasn't super concerned about covering up the shininess of the latex because I just, you know, didn't feel like it was necessary. And I will tell you, for my sweater, I just used water activated paints and I just threw it on and some shadows for a little bit of like a shadow or deepening thing. I should have spent more time. I really barely spent any time making the sweater, and so I should have added some latex in my bottom nose and my ears, and I should have taken more time on my sweater, but I didn't, all right? So here I am doing that thing I told you not to do and adding latex around my eyes. Yeah, stupid of me, but I lived, I survived, but I'm not responsible for your eyes, okay? So here I am, you know, poking holes in it and stuff, and I probably created quite a few real wrinkles on my eyes by doing this too. I'm sure of it, because, you know, I'm pulling all of that sensitive skin like that. But yeah, that's what I did. And then I started painting those, you know, new holes in the new latex that I added. And, you know, I added some of that bruise wheel and the yellows, and the latex wasn't fully dry, but it worked. And just felt like the eyes needed to have more than what was showing. I felt like they kind of stood out a little bit too much. And I wanted this to look really kind of scabby and wet and fresh and gross and everything. So yes. And I just kind of patted on more texture and whatnot for the eye area, make it look kind of veiny and irritated, and you know, I did what I could. And burns do sometimes have like a really dark scabby, you know, on it, like burnt, because it was burnt. Like dying dead skin, so I darkened up some of this stuff a little bit. And yeah, that's what I did. This is my first time doing this method and trying to create burns and stuff, so be kind, okay? Be kind to me. Yeah, so now I'm just painting on the sweater, and I did a really lazy job. Like I said, I just threw it on with the red and green paints. If I had a red and green sweater, I would have worn that. But in reality, I know that I can paint on sweaters better than what I did. I was just in a hurry and already done with the look. Plus, my kids really wanted to go to the store down the road, which I actually walked to the store wearing this look. Yes, yes, I did. People stared at me, but nobody said a damn word. They were just staring at me. And it was really weird. But I don't really care what other people think. So, yeah. And my kids thought it was kind of funny. So, like I said, I just lazily threw on that sweater paint. Didn't try much at all, but I did feel like it needed a little bit of depth, so I did take some shadows underneath, you know, some of the sweater lines or whatever, and around my neck. Excuse me, because, you know, that's what I did. I really hope this voiceover sort of turned out okay. Fingers freaking crossed for me, you guys. And then I threw on the hat and everything and just added the coagulated blood to the look. That was the last thing I wanted to do because I just didn't want it to go anywhere. And so I just added it in the scabs. And this is the finished look. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm sorry that everything wasn't completely timed with my voiceover. At least I'm not thinking it was, but yeah, here it is. Bye.